Looks like we nailed the anchorage this morning, or last night when we came in. How's that? We could have maybe snuck in just a little bit closer, maybe. But for the sake of, you know, a few meters of water, how good is this? What a beautiful day to wake up to. Ooh. Beautiful sand. Oh, this is gorgeous. Whoa. Whoa. How good's this? Anchored just off the beach. Starlight in the background. Oh, this is lovely. This'll do. Nathan can go look for shells. And we can ask the local here if we can swim or not. I suspect we can. But you know, the last place we went swimming, turned out it was full of crocodiles, even though it looks beautiful anyway. So I guess here we'll check before we go swimming again. Here's the problem that Indonesia faces though. Everybody just throws their garbage in the ocean or on the ground, and it all ends up washing out onto the beaches. So even though you're on a beautiful beach, you're surrounded by plastic like this. It's just disgusting. I don't know how Indonesia's going to change this because everybody does it. Nobody tries to do anything about keeping track of their garbage. It's such a shame. It's just going to have to be a re-education from the ground up, I think, from the kids at school all the way up. But the kids have got to break their parents' habits. But it's going to be catastrophic for Indonesia as Indonesia gets larger and larger. It's going to affect their fish life, their marine resources more and more. And we're out in thousands of metres of water and we still see plastic floating by regularly. And I'm not just talking about, you know, a piece every, 4 hours or something. You know, every minute or less there's a piece of plastic or a plastic bag or a plastic bottle or something floating by, and this is miles offshore in hundreds of metres of water. So yeah, it's a real problem here. Oh, selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi.
Craig.
Yeah?
Craig.
Abdul.
Abdul.
Yeah.
Abdul. How good's that? Just met a bloke by the name of Abdul on the beach. Lovely guy. Told me there's no crocodiles here. It's okay to swim. Well, at least that's what I managed to get out of him. Someone's building a fishing canoe here. Don't know if it's anything like Papua New Guinea, but in Papua New Guinea they cut down a tree that they've picked out, drag it down to the beach and then hollow it out. It looks like exactly the same process as Papua New Guinea. But it's got his own personal gear here, so I won't intrude on his space. So Abdul's got big octopus there drying on a rack. Small one and an even smaller one. It's interesting they don't smoke them, but I guess they don't need to because it's so bloody hot.
He's scared you. Come on here, inside him.
Not a bad place to hang out. if you're going to stop and fish for a few days. Little cave, gets you out of the rain if there is any. Somewhere to dry and smoke the fish. Somewhere to sleep.
You can see this long time.
Yeah, it's far from before. And straight off the beach there. At your front yard. Not too shabby. We're having another little rain shower come past. Really quite pleasant. It's cooled things down a bit. It's lovely.
Yeah, so big rain.
Yeah. There's not really any wind associated with it, luckily. Certainly a bit of rain though. Maybe a little bit of wind coming out of the north, which is ideal for us because we're in a north sheltered anchorage. Oh, my ear. Not cold.
Ya, thank you very much.
Sama-sama.
Oke, terima kasih banyak-banyak, Bu.
Banyak ya.
Ya. Habis. Wow. Kita jual ini habis. Nah, ini kita kasih.
Together.
Oh. Tuna.
Okay. Yeah. Kita sama-sama. Sama-sama.
Pero yeah. This is Abdul.
Tan.
Okay.
Australia?
Oh, Australia ya.
Thailand.
Oh, Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy, mate?
Okay, thank you very much.
Ay!
Okay.
Okay, we go.
Okay.
Bye.
We left North Hating Bay on the sunrise this morning. Gorgeous day. It's going to be a warm one, another one, hot. Not a lot of wind. We did catch about 5-6 knots of wind, and I thought, right, we're going to set the sails, we're going to sail this. No sooner had I set the sails, turned off the engine, the wind just quit. We've got about 1.5 knots of wind at the moment. We're ghosting along at fairy fart, not even nothing. So it looks like we'll be starting the engine again very shortly, but I'll persevere for another 5 or 10 minutes just in case I can find that 5 to 10 knots of wind again. We're getting about 8 to 10 knots. We're doing a beat on about 60 degrees, which is pretty cool. So wind's coming basically out of the south-southwest, coming out of here. We're heading from North Hating Bay. Down here we're going to slip through this little passage here between these islands and head down to the little spot of Wodong, where there's apparently a resort, which may even have a restaurant. I think I've mentioned it already, we're excited about that. But hopefully I can get some diesel there. It would be nice to top that up. I think we need about 40 litres. Only about 40 litres or something, just to make us, 100% reserves plus 100% in the tank. But we have a long way to go, and I expect we're going to do a lot of motoring. The bonus of the wind today was really just a bonus. I wasn't expecting it, so we'll grab it when we can.
I take care.
You have to make compromises in things that I think are acceptable and things that Tan thinks are acceptable. One of the things that I like to have is an absolutely squared away boat when we go to sea. Everything perfect. But Tan's got her laundry out.
Oh my God.
So yeah, This is okay. Sometimes you have to compromise a little bit. So if Tan wants to do this, then this is okay. It's not a big deal because it's definitely not a threat to the boat. I just like to have everything squared away just in case something happens. So down below we're always perfect when we go to sea. But this is a first, I think, sailing with laundry out. Anyway, it's got to be dry and it's okay. If you're new to the channel, you may not have realised yet, but I really love this boat. She's a Beneteau 473 and she sails like a witch. Just goes everywhere I want it to go in virtually nothing. So we're on a light beat here at the moment, wind about 60 degrees. We're only about 8 knots of wind and we're making 5.5 knots. The boat's just a cracker. I love her. As we move further west, I think we're moving into more of a convergence zone, and the wind is far less reliable. So it's just dropped out on us, just gone, and it's left us just, I wouldn't say drifting. We're doing 1.1 knots. So as long as I can steer, I'll keep going because I've got time today. But I do see, not too far away, looks like a little bit of disturbance on the water. So maybe there's 5 or 10 knots coming towards us. So we'll maintain for a little bit, but I might end up motoring again. We've managed 5.5 miles under sail, so we've got another probably 30 to go. It's always nice to sail it if we can, save that diesel. We're really starting to see some beautiful, beautiful parts of Indonesia. Check this out. So we're in about 200 metres of water here, and that reef there just comes up in a sheer wall, straight up from 200 metres to basically zero, with a volcanic island in the background. Guy in a canoe fishing on the edge there. I don't know if you can make him out on the GoPro. We're just passing through this narrow passage here. We found some wind. It's nearly 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's just filled in from the southwest. It's a little unexpected, but very happy with that because it means that we can lay our course sort of west-west, northwest, and we're fairly fine on it, maybe 60 degrees on a beat. We're getting about 19 knots at the moment. Looks like I might fill in a little bit more, so I may end up reefing that main. But for the moment, I'm making 8.5 knots towards the destination, which is just smashing. So I'm going to carry this sail as long as I can. But she's cracking along. Starlight's right in their little groove right now. So it's come to that. I've put a reef in the main, so we're on the first reef. We're getting about 20 to 22 knots at about 60 degrees, which is fantastic. It's cracking us along well in the 8s, approaching the 9 knots at times. So you know, we're cracking along towards our destination. That's fantastic. I'm really appreciate it. Very difficult for Tan. She's been cooking down below noodles. She's just given up a little bit, I think. But we do have a ship off our starboard side here, showing up on AAS, and it's showing that we're going to have a close approach. And I do have right of way, and we do have a little bit of a handful here with this wind, but if it comes to the crunch, then I will alter course to starboard and go around behind him. Mount Aviani. This is sailing vessel Starlight. Yeah, check one second. Our closest point of approach there is about 300 feet, thereabouts, about 100 metres. We're approaching the anchorage of Bataboga on the northern side of Flores Island. Check out this scenery, it's stunning. It's all volcanic. These mountains just crashing into the water. We're sitting in about 500 metres of water here. There's an Indonesian fishing vessel just here on our port side. I'm going to let him pass ahead of me. And then our anchorage is pretty much where the centre of the camera is right now. I'm not quite sure what we're going to find when we get in there, but we're going to go and have a look at it. Beautiful, stunning scenery though. Hopefully we get a gorgeous night's sleep.